Toyota Camry 1988 88. We are in 2021, which quick maths will be 33 years old. That is pretty impressive. But I think this beige here, it's slightly aftermarket. No, it's not made by Pininfarina. The body that is 4-banger. Why am I reviewing these things? Oh, I need to find out how to open this trick. Here you go. It's like crushing your fingers. Hold on. Pretty hefty, but it doesn't have those struts. 4-liter, not 4-liter, 4-cylinder. Looks like to be a 2-liter engine. Very spacey here. You can work pretty easily on these things. Perhaps the alternator is a little bit loose. It looks like it had the AC. Very nice fuel injection for 88. I guess it was pretty new. There you go. I still have my fingers. But why I'm doing this review is not a review. It's just a walk around. It's a recall, not a total recall, but a recall. Because this car were not just the 80s, but the simple car that was easy to fix. And at some point, I think, if you remember that movie Escape from New York, when those people were riding all these old cars in 2050, perhaps 60, when most of the cars are going to be electric or who knows whatever else. I need to have a walk on that titanium V70 in a while. So I was saying, within 30-40 years from now, all cars going to be either electric, who knows whatever. I don't think hydrogen would catch up, maybe other source of energy, and are going to be soulless. Now, the Camry was pretty soulless. It wasn't really very inspiring car, but it was comfortable. I think people will regret these cars, will remember how if you want, stinky gasoline engine was feeling in their car. You are going to tell your kids, or maybe your grandkids, how these cars were actually feeling something. And the electric car don't feel that much. Let me just sit inside. Perhaps is not a dinosaur, but it's a car from an era that we are going to remember, perhaps more so than what we are having today in 2020 or so. All right, well, all the cars in those 80s, 90s, perhaps even 2000, they were sitting quite low to the floor. The seats were not very high. This one is not that low, and this one was a pretty heavy smoker. But one of the things I do like about these seats, you see, if you look at the shape of the seat, you may be thinking, oh, it's gonna be crap and it's gonna be like very uncomfortable, very, I don't know. Actually, they are comfortable. They are soft. I feel like sitting on a cushy thing, and the whole shape looks simple, but it works. I don't know why they just forgot doing good things, good seats in the cars today. I don't know why, because it's not science fiction. It's just they already had it, and the seats today is just not the same feeling. I don't know. It's not the same thing. You see this very tiny doors, and this remembers me the Honda Civic I had in 1991. It's just the same design, very thin and very unprotective. Also, I had it in the same blue. Nice, looks like it's a stitching, like a fake stitching. Obviously, they have a nice clock here. Like Saab Kyle is saying, he's always checking the flashlights. I don't know why. Yeah, a nice steering, no airbag, honk in the center. You don't miss. And there's no airbag either. Tiny blow box here. Overdrive. I don't know how many speeds this was. Yeah, a very simple layout. Buttons were all functional. You see, I have gloves on my hands, and I can switch these buttons. On modern cars you'd have to fit with. I'm not even talking about those Audi Q5, Q whatever, which have crazy tiny buttons, very hard to use, very difficult, and the interface is horrible. Awful German overthinking. They think they made a spaceship, and you are hating your spaceship in daily driving. Yeah, see, I'm 6 feet, exactly 6 feet tall. That's 183 for European people, centimeters. Perfect legroom. I'm obviously the most backwards. Perfect legroom. I have not a single problem. I don't feel uncomfortable. I could fully stretch my leg. Obviously I would press the pedals, but it's just very good space inside, and it also feels like it has a lot of space here. It doesn't feel like your dash is coming into your legs. Look at the passenger side, huge space here. It's very airy, I don't know, it's not a huge car by today's standards. By then it was a bigger car, I guess, compared, but it feels very airy. Very nice liner here also. The dash is very small, and the window is kind of close to you, but not too bad. It has a blue interior, and I have a surprise for you in a moment. Back room, I would say it's lacking a little bit. It doesn't look that huge, that good for a leg room, but this looks to be, we are in Canada. I'm apologizing for the French introduction and immersion. You can recognize the Toyota van 4Runner. Wow, what is this? Is that a Supra or a Celica? You people perhaps are better than me. This might be a Corolla, or don't think it was a Tercel back then, but this was the warranty book for the original owner, and I'm not going to leave this here in the junkyard. And if I would scroll to the pages, there was at some point, very nice picture here, a nice engine looking 4AGA. If people are into Toyota, they perhaps know what this means better than I do. Oh, the 4Runner, a very popular and loved car. But at the end we have a sticker. Oh, what is that? Is that 3 people on a, is that a bench? I don't know what car it was this. That's really weird. I don't know, it's just weird because you will never put 3 adults in the 3 front sitting bench. But see, we have the warranty, and that's where I could find the year of the car, 88. That's the dealership. Concessionaire means dealership. I'm looking for a kilometers at 8,000 kilometers, 13,000 miles. Is that no, sorry, it's the other way. It's 5,000 miles. The miles are always lower than the kilometers. So this was a check, and you have here well, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters the name of the person if you feel it's like intrusion into a private life or so. It's really old years. It's no longer, but there was this date here which appears to be the purchase date, 88 August 17, quite a while ago. I wanted to say something. Oh yeah, maybe we can let's go to Canada. Anyone want to guess what that means? 4 out of 5 times is not that bad. It's fantastic. It means they got a perhaps how to say that, prizes. There was prized car, the Toyotas back then. 88. 90s, early 90s were the best Toyota ever made. 90, 95. Those Corolla and Camry 1995 will just keep running, and I think, from what I read, because I didn't had one, but they were the cars that had the least mechanical or electrical or any kind of issues throughout the life of the car. There were items just like suspension, steering boots or stuff like this that would wear off quite early in the life, maybe 100,000 miles or so. You need to replace them. Yes, there were items, but overall the parts of the car that were not supposed to wear fast were causing perhaps the least amount of problem of all the car industry, of all brands. So that's why those years were absolutely the best. Now if I look here at the dash, we are in Canada, Montreal. These are kilometers, 70,000 miles or so. And one of the things you don't hear that much on many cars from the 80s, one of the things people don't actually say it explicitly, they say, I love to drive that car in the 80s, the 90s Civic, whatever other car, is these cars, maybe not the Toyotas, but other cars, many other brands, the way the body of the car was designed, it felt, as a driver, you would feel connected with the car. You would feel connected with the four corners of the suspension. You would feel the car not only in the steering but in the seat as well. I remember my Honda Civic 1990 was a sedan one, was a manual one also too, and I would feel the car would feel around you, like you could feel the body of the car. That's why it was so pleasant to own those cars, so pleasant to drive them. That's why you remember those cars that way, because you were in some way, the design of the suspension, maybe the flexibility actually of the car body was in such way that you will feel the car, you will feel it in the steering, in the seat, you will feel the movement, the flexion of the car, and that would connect you to the car. That was a mechanical feeling of those cars. That's what's missing today, and since maybe 2010 cars, all majority of them are missing that, because the body of the car did gain a lot of weight, because they reinforced the structures, obviously for security reasons. The structure of the car got more and more rigid. You always hear that in the reviews, it got more rigid with this model, 30% more rigid, 40% more rigid, and they also had to adjust the suspension to that, and all that took away that mechanical connection with those older cars from maybe not just 80s, 60s, 70s, 50s something. And that mechanical connection just disappeared with the modern cars. It's just a thing of the past. Is, in my opinion, is what made people love those cars back in the days. Thanks for watching.